Good evening, friends. I'm Pavan, anchor and cricket commentator. Welcome to DPCL Visakha 2022. Well, today we are in Vizag at GITAM University. We have got one of the famous tennis stars, Arun Karthik Garu, with us. Welcome to Arun Karthik Garu.
Thank you, Pawan.
So, DPCL Visakha 2022 invites you grandly, and it's been a big pleasure to have you here. So, Arun Karthik Garu, we want to know more about you. So, over to you.
Thanks, Pawan. Thank you so much, and it's a pleasure to have the DPCL team here, and it's a pleasure that we will be hosting some of the matches that DPCL is going to have at the Visakhapatnam city. So I'm Arun Karthik. I'm currently the director for Geetam deemed to be University for sports. So and I handle sports for three campuses, which is the Visakhapatnam campus, the Bangalore campus, and the Hyderabad campus. So I've been a sports person through and through. Sports is something, it's probably the earliest memory that I have. And I've been a tennis player in the past. I've played tennis at a very competitive level. I currently also have been bitten by the obstacle course racing bug, and I take a lot of interest and enthusiasm in obstacle course racing, which is an up and coming sport. But what's always been the core to me is development of sport and promotion of sport, especially in a country like ours in India. And that's where I've been spending a lot of time in terms of figuring out ways to develop sports from a grassroots level. And that's where organizations like Dreams 11, through the events that you're organizing, popularizing sport in your own way in different circles of life, so that kind of adds to the snowball effect that we are essentially trying to create. In brief, so sports is something that's running in my blood, and I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about through the course of the interview. Yeah.
Exactly. We could witness you are very enthusiastic about all sports. And coming to your personal life, where are you originated from and your parents' family?
Sure. So I hail from Chennai, uh, born and brought up there. My mom and dad, we come from a very middle class family, and the typical Indian family, the stereotypical Indian family is what my background is. Mom has been, she's worked in the telecom sector. She was working with the Department of Telecommunications. Dad has been a banker. Both of them are retired now, and they're relaxing and enjoying their retired life. I have a sibling, a sister who is a doctor, and I took on a very different journey. Um, I did my engineering, went on to do an MBA at IIM Lucknow, and I worked on a bunch of interesting sporting properties, which I'll come to in due course of time.
Nice. By the way, Arun, your hobbies and interests.
Oh, my hobbies are plenty. There's and interests are also plenty. So I don't really like to do the same thing over and over again. Even when it comes to sport, although tennis was like my mainstay, we always dealt with playing every sport. So every chance that we get, we play cricket, football, badminton, table tennis, anything and everything that we could possibly play. Right. So in terms of interest, sport is like a huge interest of mine. I would like to call myself an artist as well, and I try and I do a lot of oil on canvas. I try and explore the creative side of me through art. Um, I watch a decent amount of television, uh, a lot of sporting action on television. So anything that I can watch on TV that is sport related, that is competition related, is something that I keenly enjoy. And off late, I've picked up the habit of mentoring students, mentoring youngsters who'd like to either pursue sports as something serious or even generally about life. So that's something that I've taken into off late, and it's giving me immense pleasure to talk to the future of our country and possibly help them in a way where they can be better versions of themselves.
So, Arun, you are into sports, and what made you to come into sports? Your inspiration in the game?
I frankly don't know what inspired me to get into sport. Probably just my dad telling me go run or do whatever you feel like doing, and that's how it started. But the introduction to tennis was through my dad because I was into athletics before. once I got into tennis, there was no looking back. And my inspiration has always been Pete Sampras, because he was the person that I played tennis growing up, and there's a lot of things that I do on the tennis court which sort of emulates him. So I would like to call Pete Sampras my initial inspiration, and now I'm a massive fan of Rafa Nadal, and so that's something that I'm very inspired by.
Great. By the way, when you came to know for the first time about DPCL Vizag, I mean, when Anil Pendela garu came to you with this thought, what was on your mind?
See, frankly, being very honest, I didn't really have an idea about the Doctors Premier League, but I do have an idea of the Indian Premier League because I had a small role to play in that event. But it seemed like a fantastic idea because the spiel was how doctors have been warriors during the last few years because of the pandemic, and this is essentially giving back to them and celebrating doctors and the work that they've done. So it seemed like a very, very noble cause, and it was only, you know, right on our part to try and be a part of this journey that Anil has taken and Dreams 11 is taking.
Okay, so being the sports director of GITAM University, what activities do you participate in the college or the university?
I'm guessing this is for students. What sort of activities
Yeah,
do we?
what activities do you make for the students?
We don't limit the activities for students. So we've created a system where there are two types or two buckets to sport. So there is recreational sport and there is competitive sport. So for recreational sport, the sky is the limit. And the recreational sport is limited by what the student wants. So right now we have anything under the sun as activities that students can do from a sports standpoint. Like we have clubs and student organizations which involve themselves in promoting football, cricket, tennis, volleyball. We have 46 different sports and sports clubs in the university, and we also have different things which not many people would be interested in forming a club. For example, we have an esports club where we're also trying to promote esports. There is a Formula One club. Although you can't really organize a Formula One race within the campus, we have students who are enthusiastic about it. They watch races together. They analyze the race after, they do like a post-race analysis. They discuss about the performances of the drivers. So in that sense, sport is all permeating, and every single student here has access and an opportunity to play and engage themselves in sport. Moving on to the competitive side, we focus on 9 different sports, including the conventional ones like football, cricket, volleyball, etc. There is a special focus on roller skating. There is a special focus on fencing, where we have some student athletes in our system who've been performing at the highest level and winning laurels at a world level.
Well, Arun, Dr. TDR Reddy garu and Anil Pendela garu, the organizer, has come up with the thought of making DPCL, that is for the doctors. And what would you add for that?
See, I think they're already doing a fantastic job. Uh, I would like to, I mean, I've seen some of the snippets from the previous editions of the event. It seems wonderfully done. I can't really think of anything that I would add to it. You wouldn't really want to change a working formula. So I'd let it be as is, and possibly if there's something that I can think of, I'll let them know for sure.
Arun, coming to your sports career, what are the places and tournaments you have been a part of?
So I've visited a lot of places because of tennis, and also now recently because of obstacle course racing. So tennis has taken me through the entire country, through the length and breadth of the country, from the south of Tamil Nadu all the way to Chandigarh to Guwahati in the east, to Gandhinagar in the west. So we've traveled all across the country. Uh, I've also been privileged to travel to Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and a bunch of other neighboring countries to India, as a part of my tennis journey. But right now, obstacle course racing has taken me a little beyond just the neighbors of India. So we've been to Thailand, traveled to Singapore, and even Manila in Philippines, uh, playing the sport of obstacle course racing. So these are the places that tennis and sport has taken.
Great collection. By the way, being engaged with students, how do you feel that sports could help the students a lot?
Oh, this is an answer that I can talk for days together, because that's the sort of value that I feel personally sport adds to a human's life. I'm not really going to say it's student, because I owe a lot to sport. What I am today, I put a lot of impetus on sport, and what sport has given me is sort of brought me where I am. And sport teaches you things that you don't necessarily learn inside a classroom environment. It puts you in a spot where you understand what leadership is, you understand what discipline is, what respect is, more importantly, what coping with losses is, and also, not letting a win get to your head. If you observe in sport, you lose more than you win,
Yeah.
and so with every loss, it's a failure, but you don't look at it as a failure, you look at it as a learning. And that's a fantastic lesson for human life, um, for us to take from sport and to use it in our regular life. I'm not going to talk about the health benefits. I think that's spoken to death. But on all the other softer aspects of life, on life skills, on values that you learn from sport, there are so many different things that you learn here that can be applied in so many different facets of life going forward.
So Arun, from your GITAM management, you have been partnering along with DPCL. How do you feel about this?
Like I mentioned earlier, it's a pleasure and a privilege to be a part of this event and to be associated with Dreams 11 and the team behind it. Because, like I said, it's a very noble cause that they've picked. For me, promoting sport in itself is a huge noble cause, and then you're also celebrating the real warriors, the real saviors of human race over the last couple of years, and with the Doctors Premier League. Uh, it brings, like I said, it's a celebration of all of these noble souls, and this is something that is extremely wonderful to be a part of, and we are extremely excited about the event that is going to happen in due course of time, and looking forward to it actually.
Nice, we understood you're excited. By the way, how could you feel that sports can be a part of life?
Sports, in my opinion, is a way of life. I don't think it should be a part of your life. It has to be a way of life. When I say sports, it's not just playing a sport. It's just the way of staying healthy and staying fit, right? Uh, so for me, sport gives you an opportunity to not just stay healthy. It gives you an opportunity to socialize, to network, to unleash yourselves, and to completely de-stress. Uh, and hence, I feel it has to be something that you do on a daily basis, something that uh, you set some time aside on a daily basis to engage in sport or physical activity. It's meditation if you do it the right way. And hence, I am a very strong believer that sport and any sort of physical activity is something that every individual should essentially, make a part of their daily routine.
So Arun Garu, the phrase cricketainment and great Indian doctor cricketers have been introduced by Anil Pendela Garu, the founder, and also Dr. TDR Reddy Garu. What do you feel about this?
See, to make something a little more popular, you have to use phrases which connect with people. And cricketainment is one such word where you're marrying cricket and entertainment, which it is, and it has to resonate with the general public. And with words like this, with catchphrases that are a part of life, it's like those those mass dialogues, or uh, there's a specific word for it. It's like that. So these are the dialogues, the punch dialogues, sorry. So it's like the punch dialogues, and those are the ones that are repeated over and over again. Now, with coining terms like these, you make it a little more real for people, something they remember things by. And these are words that they can repeat, and then every time they talk about this, you refer to the DPCL and all the other properties that are being created around cricket and sports.
Nicely said. Well, cricket, in fact, all sports may have the impact on the behavioral mindset of the students as well. Do you believe in that?
Absolutely. There's no two ways about that. Like I said, sport teaches you so many different things. They understand what it means to work in a team. And that's probably the most important thing as humans. You never do things alone by yourself. You always need a support group. And it is very important that you know the dynamics of your group, so you can make use of the group in the best way to optimize the strengths of every person and get the best results out. And cricket sport, through because of its nature itself, it sort of hits the most basic of human abilities, which is, the ability to bond, to connect, to work together. Because without teamwork, we as humans would not have survived. And through sport, over and over again, we are re-emphasizing that, and sport plays a major role in us being who we are today.
Well, Arun, how do you relate leadership qualities towards sports?
Oh, wow! So this is leadership uh, is a very integral part of sport. It's like having a ship without a captain. I mean, the ship is going to be directionless.
Yeah.
And a leader in a sporting team is very, very important. And without a leader, there is no direction. Because you have, in cricket, for example, or let me take football as an example. So you have 11 members on the field. If 11 members think 11 different ways, you're going nowhere. So you need a leader in anything that you do. So there is a proper path and a proper way. Sport, of course, gives you an opportunity to lead. Uh, like I said, in sport, failure is a lot more, or you lose a lot more than you win. It is imperative that you have somebody who picks the team up, pushes the team forward, even in desperate times. And hence, a leader is a person who is who either makes or breaks a team, in my opinion. And hence, I feel through sport, you develop your leadership qualities in so many different ways. It's not just about what you do on the field, it's what you do off the field, it's how you behave, how you work as a group, how you encourage each other, how you motivate each other. The list is endless in terms of how leadership qualities are inculcated through sport. And so leadership and teamwork go hand in hand. So if sport is teaching you that, then that is something that everybody should be a part of.
Okay, Arun, we all knew what COVID has made to the people, in fact, to the nation and the globe. So, COVID warriors, we have termed the doctors, and we have already called that before. So, what are the sacrifices and how you would react towards the COVID warriors, doctors?
Well, this is a very sensitive topic for me because in a family that has a lot of doctors, I'm the outlier who's not a doctor. And I have faced this firsthand on the sort of sacrifices people have made during during times of uncertainty, because these were times where even doctors were not really sure what was happening, and yet they risked their lives and they were in the front line trying to save people. And uh, just taking a story from my own experience. um, so I was diagnosed with COVID, or I caught the virus during the second wave, and we were struggling to get a room for me to be admitted. There was a little complication. uh, it was endearing to see how these doctors were putting in endless shifts. It's not just about a regular shift. We try to work 8 hours a day. These doctors were putting in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week,
Yeah.
in such dangerous and in such uncertain conditions, risking not only their lives, but they were staying away from their families because they had to, because they were in touch with people who had COVID. So there were so many sacrifices that they have made over the course of the last 2 years. So whatever we do for them will always be less, because the sort of service that they have rendered to humanity and to just general human life over the last 2 years is something that words or actions cannot repay.
Yes, Arun. So, do you feel that sports can make better in us during social gatherings and meetings in our regular life? Well, Arun, is there any impact of sports in social gatherings and meetings in our regular life?
So, in my opinion, given I've studied a little bit of literature on this topic. There is scientific proof that sports is closely related with socializing. But I'm just going to give you my personal opinion. It certainly does, because it makes you come out of your comfort zone, and sport usually does that. It puts you in such situations where you have to come outside your comfort zone and perform in a very, very new environment. And socializing for a lot of people is like that. You're going to talk to people whom you've never met before. And what do you do in such a situation? You start, building a conversation. So it certainly does help you socialize. So that is one point. Second is, in a team sport or even in individual sports, you have to play with somebody. You can't play it by yourself. So in that situation, it's not always your friends that you play with. It's not always people that you are aware of that you play with. You play with anyone and everyone that is passionate about that sport. And once you play on the field, you start building a brotherhood with them. And once that brotherhood is formed, you start building more connections, and hence your network grows. And with that network, your social circle grows. And with that social circle, your socializing eventually, starts to prosper. So of course, sports definitely plays a major role in helping us socialize, in helping us bond with others.
Well, nice views from you. Regarding sports, you know, there are plenty of professionals, there are CEOs, business magnates, business tycoons in the nation, out of the nation as well. Do you feel that sports are going to make them better leaders in their respective areas?
I'm not sure if it's going to make them better leaders, but I feel all the leaders who are heading some of the best organizations in the world have had sport or some form of activity in their lives which has taken them there. Why I'm trying to tell you this is, these are people who are extremely disciplined in life. And with discipline comes a little bit of thought about their own self. Irrespective of how good you are in academics, you might be the best in whatever you do, but you need to have a healthy body for you to perform whatever you want to perform. And for that, you have to set some time aside for focusing on your health, whether it is fitness or sport. I'm sure all of them do a little bit of this. Um, and I've been emphasizing on the various values that sport instills, and hence all of these people are certainly going to be looking at sport at various different angles to see what they can imbibe from that. Just taking a small cue from, in most interviews that I've attended in my life so far, for jobs, the conversation has always centered in and around sport. That's because that's the sort of value companies and employees give for sport, because just surely because of the the impact that sport has in anyone's life and the sort of values that it inculcates in a human being. So 100% it certainly aids in leadership and in teamwork, and I'm sure a lot of these CEOs and leaders in their own way, they will be involved in sport or fitness in one way or the other.
Arun, have you ever heard of DPCL making a big tournament for the doctors community, and how do you feel about this?
Of course, I've heard of DPCL, and I feel extremely proud and happy that someone's taken the initiative to bring such an event to life. Uh, it's something that I'm looking forward to. It's something that I'm extremely passionate to be a part of, and extremely happy to be associated with an event like this.
Regarding fitness, you seem to be very athletic. You got a handsome physique as well. Whom does you follow regarding fitness?
So fitness is something that is close to me. It's something that has been a part of me for forever. Uh, I, me and my friends, we always try. There's a saying that you always have a rub-off effect from the people around you. You are how people around you are.
Right.
Uh, so, so the people that I closely associate myself with are always into fitness. So there's this natural drive for me to stay in that. Um, there's no how do I put it? So I do have a lot of idols when it comes to fitness. There are so many athletes, sports people who at a very old age are still extremely fit, even celebrities. So Milind Soman is one such example. Irrespective of how old he is, he maintains himself. There's Zlatan Ibrahimovic, there's Cristiano Ronaldo, uh, but I have a lot of names there. I do follow The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. So it's just about staying in a place where a lot of discipline is required, and hence there's a lot of things that fitness teaches me. It's my form of meditation. So I define fitness as something that is functional. It should be able, it should help you do things that you're supposed to be doing on a daily basis. If it could mean, if I have to carry my daughter and walk, I should be able to do that. I shouldn't be holding my bag and saying I can't do it. Or if you go to a grocery store, you should be in a position to hold 2 bags of groceries or vegetables and come back. So it's just being functional, and that's the definition of fitness for me. And in terms of inspiration, like I said, it's all these athletes who have been ageless in sport, and the only reason they've been able to maintain themselves in terms of quality of play is purely through discipline and fitness.
We have got a great answer for fitness, and so many examples you mentioned as well. Well, coming to fitness in brief, have you added weightlifting as a part of your fitness?
So there are a lot of components to fitness. Strength training, which involves weightlifting, is also definitely a part of fitness. Uh, of course, weightlifting is a part of the work that I do. In addition to a lot of body weight exercises, there is a certain amount of weightlifting that I do to just enhance the muscles that we have, and to strengthen the muscles. Yes.
What's your message towards parents in treating sports as their children's activity?
Well, for parents, my message would be, traditionally we've always seen sports as a distraction, as something that makes your ward probably do bad in academics, but the answer, research has very clearly proven that it's that's not the case. It's a myth. In fact, what it does is it actually makes students better in academics, better in just their way of life. And if a student or a kid says, I want to play sport, let us not think about sport as a career. Let us just look at sport as a recreational activity, as something that gives them something outside of what they normally do. It gives them an opportunity to make friends. It gives them an opportunity to learn a lot of things. So when a kid says, I want to play sport, we don't have to say, is sport going to give you money? That's not what the kid wants. I don't think the kid also wants to become, not everybody can become a Sachin Tendulkar or a Roger Federer. But sport gives you so much more than all of this. It gives you health. It gives you a lot of life skills. It gives you an opportunity to make friends. It gives you an opportunity to de-stress. It gives you so many different things that the current world denies you. And in the fast-moving world, where we are suddenly living a very reactive life, where once a doctor says you have diabetes, you have to start working out, only then do we wear our shoes, dust them and wear them and start walking. But why don't we take a proactive approach? Why don't we engage in sport on a regular basis? Why don't we engage in fitness activities on a daily basis, so you don't face such issues when you grow older? So my message to parents is, don't treat sports as a distraction. Treat them as a medicine that a student that a kid is going to have throughout their life, without any chemicals in it, and that's going to keep them healthy, keep them fit, keep them mentally and physically fit.
It's been a great answer. Well, your message for all the youngsters and the people regarding sports.
Make sports your way of life. It gives you variety. Don't play just one sport. Try playing as many sports as you can, and engage in all sorts of activities that make you feel happy. We live one life, so make the most of it. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Let's not be the dull boy.
Well, Arun, finally, your best wishes for our DPCL, Anil Garu, Dr. TDR Reddy Garu and all.
It's a pleasure to be associated with a noble cause, and our support is always going to be there, and our association, at least from my side, will always be there for an event like this. The best of wishes, and I'm sure you're going to come out in flying colors, because it's an effort that you're taking for, like I said, the COVID warriors, the people who've put our lives before theirs, and hence if you're doing something with the right cause, for the right cause, the universe will come together to make it a success. And that's my message, and with that I would like to wish you all the very best, and I'll always be there to support and be associated with the DPCL.
Well, Arun, thanks a ton for your valuable time, views regarding sports, DPCL and all. Friends, this is about DPCL Vizag 2022. We have got the interview and interaction with Arun Karthik garu, who has been well famous in tennis, working as a sports director for GITAM University. There are few more celebrities and personalities we are going to meet for DPCL Vizag 2022. So stay tuned for more updates. For now, I am signing out. Your anchor, your commentator, your Pavan.